Hey, welcome to math. We're going to be talking about adding fractions. Adding fractions. And we're going to be adding fractions that have the same denominator today. So if I have 1/4 of something, like I have 1/4 of a pizza left over, I still have that 1/4 piece. And then my friend is like, you know what? I've got 1/4 piece too. And you can just have my 1/4 piece. I don't really want it anymore. And assuming the holes are the same size. So I had a fourth. Somebody gives me a fourth. How many fourths do I have? What fraction do I have? Well, if you look at it as one whole like that, I used to just have this piece, but now somebody just gave me a piece that size too. So I've got 2/4. So the denominator stays the same because the size of the pieces are the same size, right? I'm just talking about fourths. I'm not talking about like one is a fourth and one is a hundredth or one's a half or something. They're fourths. See, fourths, fourth plus fourth. But the number up top, the numerator, changes because I have more now. So when you add fractions, if the denominator is the same, and today they're all going to be the same, which is kind of like the simplest way to add fractions. It gets more complicated if they're not, but right now we're starting simple. The denominator is the same. 4, 4, 4. Fourths, fourths, fourths. It's always fourths. We're just talking about fourths right here. So these are the size of the pieces. Say this is the same. The size of the pieces stays the same. But the number of the number of pieces, that makes more sense. The number of pieces changes. So the size stay the same. Yeah, we're talking about fourths. But the number of them, how many do you have? Well, that changes. I used to only have one, then I got one more. Now I've got 2. 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4. So these stay the same, but you just add these numbers up. 1 plus 1 is 2. So that's pretty easy, right? 1 plus 1 is 2. Let's try another one with thirds. So let's say I've got this rectangle and I've got 1/3 of something. Say it's like I've got this funny rectangle and it's filled up with 1/3 of sand. And then my friend's like, oh, you like sand, huh? I'm like, well, man, not really, but okay, yeah, kind of. Well, I'll give you some sand. I've got a whole bunch too. And then he fills up my rectangle with 1/3 of sand. So I had 1/3. I was given another third. How much do I have now? Well, what do we remember? Size of pieces stays the same. We're still talking about thirds. The number of pieces changes. I've got more of them now. I used to only have 1. Now I've got 2/3. Or 1 plus 1 equals 2. And we know it's not 3/3 because notice how there's still one empty, right? We only have 2. We have 2 of the 3. 2/3. So that's what you're doing today. You're just adding these numbers up. And you don't always even have to draw them. If you just see 2/6 plus 1/6, well, before I even do that, I know for a fact the size of the pieces stays the same, but the number of pieces changes. So I'm still talking about 6, but I used to only have 2. Now I have 1 more than 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So that stays the same, but these guys up top change. 2 plus 1 is 3. So here's what I'd like you to do today. I'd like you to solve these, and after you solve all of them, and it shouldn't really take you too long, right? Because if you're doing these ninths, you think, oh, okay, 9 stay the same, size of pieces stay the same, but the number changes, right? So ninths, but then 4 plus 4, what's that? Oh, 8, so 8 ninths. So you might be able to just do all these in like really, really fast. So what I'd like you to do is after you finish the 10, go back and as many as you can, you won't be able to do this to all of them, simplify the answer. So see if you can do that to at least 4 of these problems. See if you can simplify the answer. So I'll find one right now and I'll help you. Let's do, and you can't simplify all of them, but see if you can. Like, let's do 1/4 plus 1/4. We just did that one, right? 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4. Can we simplify 2/4? Yeah, we can, right? We can half them both. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2/4 is 1/2, which makes sense because we can see it right there. Oh yeah, 2/4 is 1/2. So this is kind of like my challenge to you. If you're thinking like, Daniel, it's hard enough for me just to add these up, just do that. But if you think you can simplify a few, then try it out. So you'd write 1/4 plus 1/4 equals, okay, well, I know the pieces stay the same size, so it's still fourths. And now I have, but I used to have 1/4, and I have 2/4, so I write 2 up here. And it says 2/4. And now I'm gonna see if I can go for some bonus points here and simplify it and put it in its simplest terms. So now once I have that, I know I can half 2, and get 1, and half 4 and get 2. So that's your challenge too. If you just finish them all up super fast like that, and you're like, okay, did it, see if you can simplify a few of these answers. Usually on things like math tests, they ask you to simplify, so that's just like a bonus challenge. But the main thing is answer each one, remembering denominator stays the same, but you more because the size of the pieces stays the same, but now you've got more pieces, so the numerator is going to be changing. And then you can ask yourself, after you finish all of them, can I go back and simplify a few of these just to see as a challenge to myself? So that's your homework, your schoolwork, page 15.